We're going to tie Dave's hopper. This is a grasshopper pattern, mostly used in the summertime for when these insects start to fall in the water. Step 1. Secure the hook in your fly tying vise, making sure the shank of the hook is level with your table. Since we're spinning deer hair for the head of the hopper, let's secure our thread near the bend of the hook, leaving the rest of the hook shank bare to make spinning the deer hair easier. For this example, I'm using a size 6 Daiichi 1720 hook. Step 2. From a red bucktail, take a few hairs and stack the tips. Tie the stack of the bucktail at the bend of the hook. The tip should extend past the bend of the hook, only one hook gap in length. Step 3. Tie in a brown hackle at the bend of the hook. Don't worry about the size because the hackle fibers will be trimmed to shape. Step 4. Tie in one strand of yellow yarn at least 1/3 the shank distance from the eye of the hook, or 2/3 the distance from the bend of the hook. Step 5. Tie in a loop of yellow yarn at the bend of the hook. Step 6. Bring your thread to the 2/3 mark where we started, and then wrap the yellow yarn to form the body. Nice touching wraps to form the body, and make sure you taper the body almost like a cigar shape. Step 7. Palmer rib the hackle through the body with open, equal spacing wraps. Step 8. Trim the top hackle fibers close to the body. Step 9. Trim the bottom hackle fibers to line up with the hook point. Step 10. Take a strip of turkey tail fibers. Prepare it with flex cement or head cement. The strip should be wider than the body. Tie this overwing where the body ends toward the eye of the hook. The tip of the turkey tail should extend past the bend of the hook. Take the turkey tail, cut the end of the turkey tail to extend past the bend of the hook. Do not extend past the yellow loop tail. Step 12. This step is completely optional. If you have legs, tie them on each side. What happens is you could purchase these legs, they're pheasant tail fiber legs, or you can make your own, but that is a intermediate step. Step 13. Time to tie in the collar of the deer hair tips. Cut a small bunch of deer hair, clean the butt ends with a small comb, then stack the tips of the deer hair, hold the stack above the fly, and line up the tips so the tips will not extend past the bend of the hook when they are secured to the shank. Take 2 or 3 loose wraps around the deer hair bunch. And then step 15, as you pull the thread, wrapping the thread around the shank of the hook, chasing the hair to lock it in place. If your collar is sparse, you could cut another bunch of deer hair tips and lay them right on top of the collar and tie them in. I took a piece of wire, like lead-free wire or copper wire, and bound the tips of the deer hair down so that the next step in spinning more deer hair for the head, I wouldn't, when I go to trim the deer hair, I wouldn't cut the tips off. Pack the hair. Pull the butts of the deer hair away from the eye of the hook. Place one hand with your thumb and index fingers behind the butt stacks, and the other hand with your thumb and index finger in front of the stack, and compress the deer hair fibers. Step 18. Cut another bunch of deer hair, small thickness. Clean the butt sections with a comb and cut the tips off. The tips are not needed for the spinning of the deer hair. Wrap 3 loose wraps around the bunch of cut deer hair. Step 19. As you pull the thread, follow it around the shank of the hook, chasing the thread around the deer hair until it stops spinning. Make sure you are tightening the thread as you wrap and spin the deer hair. Step 20. Pack the deer hair, compress the stack from both ends, front and back, with your thumbs and index fingers. When you compress the deer hair, you will see that you have more space to fill. Repeat the steps until the space for the head is filled, leaving space between the eye of the hook and the deer hair, about 1 eye length. Tie a couple of wraps at the eye of the hook, whip finish. The tying part is done. or use a half hitch tool, which helps compress the hair back, push the hair back to add a couple of knots to finish the fly off also. Step 23. Start trimming the deer hair. The head is a wedge shape like a triangle. The base of the triangle is at the eye and the point of the triangle is at the body. Trim the bottom flat. Once done trimming the head, unwrap the wire so the collar stands out. I could almost spend a lot of time just trimming the head. Usually I take the fly out of the vise and do it. But once it is trimmed, the fly is complete. What I do is pull out some of the collar to spread them out a little bit.